humidifying this Echo Web guitar. I got dampits laid out here, and you can see a homemade humidifier there. I've got the sound hole covered, and I've got you can't see it, but there's a tiny plastic bowl in there with a cloth in it, soaked. And this guitar has already absorbed a bunch of water. You can no longer feel this crack back here now. Completely unfeelable. Before, you remember other videos, I could scrape my fingernail across it and you could hear it. For the most part, it's going back together very tightly. So once it's up to humidification levels proper, and then we're going to begin work on this. She's only resting. Welcome back again, my fine feathered YouTube chicklets. Today we got the old Blue Ridge out once again, back on this guitar, and we're going to take some of the stickiness away from the back of this neck. I always feel something right there, like glue or something, or rubber. It feels like it peels right off with your fingernail. Anyways, we're going to make this like more like a satin finish than a glossy one, because it's hard to move up and down the neck on a guitar that's just slick, glossy like that. So I'm going to bring the camera over here closer. Still sick as shit, but I'm behind on guitars big time. I need to get some of this stuff fixed and get moving on it. Got sandpaper here, soaking in water, and a couple drops of dishwashing liquid. It's been in there since last night. 800 grit I'm going to start with, and 1500 grit, and maybe 2000 after that if it needs it. I don't think we'll need to go more than 1500, but we'll see. Anyways, let me bring you over here closer where you can see what's going on, or I'll just lower the camera and zoom. It's what I'll do, and we will get busy on this. So basically all I'm going to do is just make sure I got the right 800 grit. Use 3M here. I like to use a good brand of sandpaper, and I would highly recommend that you do too if you do this. And I'm going to be sanding across the grain, okay? Across the grain. Now when we do the 1500 grit, we'll sand with the grain. But right now, this is easier to take the finish down and maintain the profile of the neck, not interrupted any, so to speak. I did a lot of guitars like this before, and every one that I have played that I did, I liked it very much. I never did. This is the first one of my own guitars I ever did it to. And I want to get this done before I start on that Echo Web guitar. Now I'm not going to bore you to death with this whole entire process, but this is the general idea of the way I do it. And as I've said before, there's more than one ways to skin a skunk, not a cat. Yes, sir. I'll bring you back when I've made some progress. Don't be surprised if you hear people coughing to themselves to death in the background. Here's what it looks like so far. That's the 1500 grit. I mean the 800 grit only. And it's already smooth and slick, as like it's greased, man. It feels like it's got grease on it. So I'm going to go over it now with the 1500 grit, and I probably wouldn't even have to go over it with this paper. Probably could just quit right now. But I always like to go over it with 1500 grit, and sometimes even up to 2000. But this feels pretty smooth actually right now, just from the 1500, or the 800 I mean. I'm telling you, man, with this sick cold, I cannot think, can't breathe. Probably the best thing about that is I can't smoke much. But I pity any of you guys that get this. Good Lord, man. I've had it 2 weeks, over 2 weeks now. By the time you see this video, I'll probably, if I still have it, it'll be 3 weeks. Horrid stuff. Anyways, I'll bring you back when we make a little progress. Show you how I'm going to make the ends look right. Like the ends right where I'm at right now. And up here at the nut, instead of just what you saw there just a few minutes ago when I showed you a close-up. So I'll bring you back shortly. Hold on. Unless you get into, well, let me show you what I've got here first. I have an eraser with a tiny, I don't know if you can see that bevel-like on it, on the end of the eraser. And I'm using 2000 grit paper just wrapped around that bevel. Kind of gives me the right angle to, you don't want to do this with just your fingers, or sometimes your finger, you can see your fingerprints in your work. And I was going to say, you know, if you want this transition to be completely invisible, and your best bet is to, you're going to get into buffing it and, you know, a whole bunch of other things. So this, you're still going to see this a little bit, but it's not going to be that obvious. Make sure that camera's rolling, and it is. It appears to be. You can already see that starting to look better. This place here, if you can see it, maybe you can watch it kind of disappear as I do this. Sanding very lightly. And just kind of blending in with the glossy type finish, where it goes back to gloss. I can already tell a big difference in the feel of that now compared to the way it was before with the gloss, and I like it. I can tell you already I like it better. Well, I always did. Everyone's guitar that I ever did this to, I always liked it very much. There you can kind of see the transition disappearing. And let me find a new page on the sandpaper here. It's just some very light, gentle sanding will do the trick. And like I say, if you want to make the transition completely invisible, then you gotta, you know, get into a little bit of buffing and buffing compound. And you can do it. You can make it completely individual. I do on anyone, someone else's guitar, anyone but mine. And I really don't care how much you can see it or not on this guitar, because yeah, I'm just doing it to make it feel better and play better, make it easier to play. As you can see there how quickly that went. I'll probably take some semi-chrome polish. I told you that stuff was good for everything. I'll just show you right now. Take a little dab of semi-chrome polish and go over that. And this is for chrome, I know, but like I told you guys before, this stuff can be used on a lot of funky applications that you would never dream of. The guy told me, try it on guitar finish, and I thought he was nuts. I said, dude, I'm not putting that on guitar finish, you nuts? Well, finally I got the nerve up to try it. Couldn't believe my eyes. Could not believe what I saw. Semi-chrome finish on semi-chrome polish on guitar finish. Holy, who'd ever thunk it? But just momentarily you're going to see what I've been talking about, telling you guys all along about this miracle salve. It's miracle salve, baby. And there you go. I don't know how well the camera's going to get it or not, but you can just barely see the change over from what we did here to make this satin to a very high gloss. You know, you could go ahead and make the whole heel satin if you wanted. It wouldn't be that hard to do, but I never did. The ones I've always done, I just, you know, kind of blended it right there. I still got to do the nut. Let me re-angle the camera, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Hold on this nut. I gotta go over it with sandpaper first. Same deal here, just a 2000 grit. You can hear it. It's not even hardly taking anything off. Very little bit. I only want to go to the nut with that. And the same thing over here. You got to stop and clean. I'm dry sanding now, so you got to stop and clean the paper out occasionally. No biggie. It's not a problem. My problem is breathing. Wow, that's some wicked stuff. I usually get it every year. Got it this year from getting too hot and sweating outside, and the wind was blowing, and I knew, man, I knew when it was happening. I knew I was going to be sick. Okay, here we are. Now what little transition is left there, you should see it easily disappear. I like to rub this stuff in a circular motion if at all possible. Miracle salve. Who would ever believed semi-chrome polish would be used for taking scratches out of a guitar finish? I would never believed it if I hadn't tried it myself. Well, I didn't believe it. When I was told that, I said, shit. There's no way, man. But there you go. Check it out yourself. I hope the camera's getting it. Maybe I'll get the camera and try to show you up closer. Yeah, let's just do that. Let me put some things away here, and I'll get the camera, get some wind in me, and I'll show it to you. Hold on. So here's the heel side of the neck. That neck is as slick as shit, baby. Well, I don't know how slick shit is, but it's pretty slick. Yeah, like I say, you can see a little transition here. It's not very much from the satin-like back to the gloss. Man, that feels so good compared to before. You could lay your hand on that before and try to slide on it, and you just jerk and jump. You know, you couldn't slide hardly at all. And there's the other end. Now, if you get right in the light a certain way, I don't know if I can get it to show up in the camera or not. Hey, I can see it. I can see, you know, where I worked at and where it ends. Right up through here and right up through here, and up through here. These where it transitions out to the peg head. But I see a little bit of something right there needs some attention. But all in all, I am very, very happy with that. Extremely happy with it. It looks good. It feels good. And I'm sure I can play it now. So there you go. If you want to do your guitar that way. There you can see a little bit of transition right here. But like I say, I could buff that and keep buffing it, you know, and blend it completely. You can't feel anything at all, so I'm not going to. If it was someone else's guitar and not mine, I would do it. But it's mine. It's okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right now. Hold on. I worked up a sweat, baby. Not even doing anything and broke out in a sweat. Anyways, here's what it looks like at another view. You can compare the finish of what we did there to the back. The finish on the back is in terrible shape. There you can see that crack we fixed. But you see how glossy that is compared to this. And it feels so good, man. That's the way I like for all of my guitars. I probably will do the Martins this way. Probably very soon as I get caught up a little bit and feel a little bit better. Anyways, I hope that helps. Next video probably going to be on that Echo Web guitar. You don't want to miss that. We're going to get into some crap with that one. I'm going to have to take the neck off, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know what all we're going to get into on it, but stay tuned. It's coming to a channel near you. Cheers. I'm going to go get some oxygen, I think, or something. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps. See you soon.